Why should I buy EC? The problem lies in is the quantum. Those in the video who have foreigner spouse, special case that I sell and don't have any grants, and BMW and Toyota price.
And I've been waiting in the shadow of the sun, chasing time and know it's been before. Close the curtains, what you waiting for? And I've been keeping secrets till I'm in the ground.
Why should I buy EC? So what are the key advantages and disadvantages about buying EC? In fact, we have few factors that can contribute to the key reasons why you should buy EC. First of all, for HDB upgraders, these are very important to you, especially when you have kids. You need house to stay. You don't want to wait for house to be built, and you don't want to rent a house. And most importantly, you don't want to pay ABSD. According to Singapore context, if you are owning one property in Singapore, you will be subject to 20% ABSD for second property. In fact, a lot of people could not afford it because 20% of $1 million is about 200,000. Some more, you are not selling your current HDB. That means you are topping up this money from the cash or even CPF. So how do we actually achieve a new home and yet you do not pay ABSD? So that's why EC is here to help you. The beauty about EC is that you do not need to sell your house now. In fact, we have this special scheme called deferred payment scheme that allows you to pay the payment at a later part, and yet you can actually continue to stay in your house. And most importantly, you do not need to rent a house. Of course, this is also subject to the timeline. As much as we know, TOP is uncertain. Sometimes it can be delayed or even earlier. So that's why it's important to engage an agent to assist you for your timeline in terms of selling as well as buying. So this one is very important, and if you want to find out more, you can always PM me. Next, what are the key advantages about buying EC? So let's look out for the other opportunity. The key problem lies in is the quantum. In today's market, according to my research, we do know that 3-bedroom is already starting from almost 1.8 to 2 million above. How do you get this amount? So according to our PopNet's investment suite, let's check it out. What are the available 3-bedrooms in the market right now? If you were to find out more about the so-called the cheapest 3-bedroom in the market, we do have, but it's how much? Let's check it out. Okay, so apart from the EC category, our cheapest 3-bedrooms right now is okay, so our cheapest 3-bedrooms right now is starting from about 1.7 million. That was actually at the District 17, the shorefront. Moving forward to the Cassia, which is about 1.8 million. So I would say the average prices for 3-bedrooms onwards is about 2 million onwards. So, but if you have a choice to offer 1.5 million at 3-bedroom prices, would you want to have it? In fact, you can have 3 bed, 3 bath, and 1 helper. This kind of helper room is perfect for you, especially if you have a helper. And imagine if you own a 3-bedroom kind of house property and you do not need to sell the house and you do not need to pay ABSD. That is the key advantage why people buy EC, especially for HDB upgraders. In fact, you also have deferred payment scheme. Of course, our disadvantage mainly is more about resale levy, which is about 40,000 for a 4-room flat. There are also different levy costs for different bedroom type as shown. So, but the question is it or not? Feel free to check out my next key videos that shares about profitable gain, and you will be able to know whether this resale levy is worth to pay or not. And the last but not least is mostly the cash. A lot of clients or even young couples are able to afford to pay a lot of cash upfront. So that is the biggest challenge that most people are actually stuck due to the mortgage servicing ratio. But if you look at the brighter side, having a lower mortgage servicing ratio means that you will have a lower monthly installment. For this, I will share with you at the later part about how much cash you need to pay for EC. So with that, I hope I have actually addressed your concern as well as understanding about the advantages and disadvantages. Okay, let's look at the third one. Aside from the profitable gain as well as market, which will be shared at the later part, okay, let's find out how to buy EC. So if you are keen to find out more about your eligibility, here are the 7 questions whether you can buy EC. The first one starts with whether if you are at least one Singaporean is buying EC. So according to the EC context, if you are Singaporean and your spouse is PR and Singaporean, good news, you can buy EC. But if your spouse is PR, do you need to pay ABSD? Answer is no. Common question always asked, foreigner. For those, if you are in the video, if you have a spouse who is foreigner and you are Singaporean, you are keen to buy EC, are you eligible to buy EC? The answer is no, unless you have a Singaporean child. So So a lot of people always ask a very key common question, especially for those in the video who have foreigner spouse. If you are Singaporean but have a foreign spouse, question is, can you buy EC? The answer is no, unless you have a Singaporean child. I hope it helps you. Second one, scheme. We actually have 4 key schemes. These 4 schemes actually come into 4 parts. First is family scheme. Second, fiancé scheme or fiancé, orphans, and joint single. So let's start at the first one, the family scheme. So if you are with a spouse, parents, or children, you can buy. Of course, there are different kind of information that we need to take note of. For example, if your spouse who is actually buying this EC, you can choose to use one as occupier, while the other one as main applicant. Want to find out more why is this so? You can always drop me a text to find out more. Of course, do note for those who are occupier, you cannot contribute CPF and loan. So this is very important part, especially for those who have foreigner spouse. Second, parents who must be eligible to buy EC, and children. Why people will put children under family scheme? Mainly is because if you are widow or divorced. So for divorce case, so long as you have interim judgment, you can buy EC. So the other choice will be widow. If you are widow, you can actually put with your children to buy EC. So this is very important because a lot of singles parents want to own a condo. If you have enough capitals to pay for your loan as well as cash, then this is certainly a best choice because you can get a very bigger house at a lower quantum. The next one will be fiancé or fiancée. Okay, we actually have 3 different segments. Mainly it depends on the age. Of course, I won't touch much on that unless you have a special case that is less than 18 years old. For those 21 years and above like you can actually opt for a so-called a fiancé scheme. That means to say you do not need to get married soon. So long as you receive your TOP, the key collections, TOP, you need to provide marriage certificate within 3 months. So you can slowly get married and also enjoy your marriage plan. But for divorce case, right, do know if you are married with a fiancé, you will need to provide final judgment. So this is very important. It's very different from the normal family scheme with divorce case with interim judgment. Third choice, orphans. For those who have deceased parents who are Singaporeans or PR, then you can actually buy this property. But they must be like an orphan, that you don't have siblings and you have deceased parents, Singaporean or PR, and you must be above 21 years old. So usually singles can buy EC or resale is provided they are 35 years old. But for orphan scheme, so long as you are 21 and above, you can buy. The last but not least, joint single. This is a very special case that I strongly highlight because a lot of singles, like for example, they don't want to get married, they just want to have a freedom, they want to have marriage certificate. Singles with partners, or so long as they are above 35 years old and you at least up to 4 Singaporeans join single, then you can buy EC. But the key criteria is all of them must be applicant. They cannot be one of them is an occupier. So they have their own shares contribute to this property sale. So do note, if you are single now and you have partners or friends who are single, this one is really right for you because it's the best time you can get this EC for a very good quantum and you can get a bigger size. So if you want to have a passive income, you can rent out the rooms as well. So buying EC is definitely a good choice if you want to start your first home at a lower capital. The next one, the key thing that I want to share with you that actually contribute to the new policy change. This is something that I really want you all to actually hear out, which is if you have a Singaporean that is above 35 and is widow, you are actually a single and Singaporean but is above 35 years old, then you can buy. The simple say, right, so long as you are Singaporean single and above 35, okay, you find someone that you like, but you are not going to marry. Your partner is actually Singaporean and above 35 years old, widow, you can buy. This is under joint single, no problem. Okay? So I hope this actually clarified the schemes that actually contributes, whether you fall which category that makes you eligible. The third question, especially for those HDB owners, we will always ask whether how many times you have bought for directly for HDB, because this actually matters about when you can buy EC. Either you are from first timer or second timer. So if you actually bought HDB directly at least 2 times, then it's a bit hard for you because everyone is only entitled to subsidized house. But if you own a resale property, I need to repeat 3 times because it's very important. If you own resale and don't have any grants, and this is your first purchase, I'm very happy to share with you, if you are going to get for EC, you will be a first timer. So long as you didn't get any grant, except proximity grant, this is exceptional, you are still considered as a first timer. So this is very important because this will also matters about your chances of getting the EC unit as well as resale levy. So if you did not have any grant so far and you never buy any BTO from HDB, you are considered as first timer. Perfect. And you don't have to pay any resale levy. So this is the best chance you can go for EC. Alright. The next questions that people will ask, especially when you are staying HDB, is whether you have already met 5 years MOP. Every HDB owners must actually stay for 5 years. So long as you stay for 5 years, you are free, you can buy EC. The next question, last 2 questions, is whether if you own a private property or overseas property. If you want to buy a subsidized housing, be it BTO or EC, you are not allowed to own any private property and also not allowed to own any overseas property because the government wants everyone to achieve a subsidized house. Subsidized means it's like you are buying a very good rate, a BMW and Toyota price. So if you are rich enough to buy private properties or even overseas, then what is the point the government should give it to you? They should give the privilege for those people who are under a sandwich, not too expensive private and not too at the affordable housing, which is the BTO or HDB public housing. So for those who own or already sold, it's okay. So long as there is a 30 months grace period. So once 30 months grace period is gone, you can buy EC or BTO. So hope this actually clarified. The next part, the last but not least, is the income ceiling. So in today's context, it's not need more than 16,000 for household income. These are the key ones that shares about which are the one that is not included in 16,000 and which are the one that are not included in 16,000. The very key common one that actually highlights is actually the so-called the bonus and annual wage salary. Okay, this AWS as well as bonus are not considered in the 16,000. So a lot of people thought that it's included. But these 2 things are very important because it helps you to contribute your higher loan so that your cash will be lower. And the other common part that people did not know is that your so-called OT, director fee, and others claims, right? All these are included. So if you have these kind of issues and you want to find out more, you can always text me and I will see how to help you. So with all these 7 key questions that ask you whether if you are eligible, one thing I must highlight something is that for those who did not pass for some questions like MOP within 5 years, or you own any overseas properties, or you have crossed over 16,000 household income, you can actually seek for HDB approval. So not true that the HDB 100% will reject you, and it's not true that HDB will 100% approve you. It depends on case-by-case basis and it depends on what is the situation you are facing in. So for this case, buying EC, in short, is not as easy as you can get because it's like a lucky condo that you can achieve a lower quantum and a bigger house. And most importantly, it actually helps you in your retirement plan, which I will share with you in the next video for this regarding the numbers. So I hope this actually clarified your questions for the eligibility. Okay. So right now, we are going to talk about the amount of cash you need to